Fish are where you find them, they say. And here's where you find abundance of saltwater. Florida boasts some 30,000 inland lakes. If Ponce de Leon had been a fisherman, he'd have been so busy he wouldn't have had time to dwell on the disappointment of not finding that elusive old fountain. Lake Apopka, a few miles west of Orlando, is the second largest freshwater lake in the state. As one of the first lakes in the South to get extensive treatment for improving its fishing, its bass population has been on the upgrade. Because of this, Apopka was selected as the ideal locale for our story. Twilight is a special time of day. In a boy's world, it produces a magical effect, a time when problems cease. Soft, warm scents fill the air. Night sounds begin their symphony. Chores are over. It's a time for fishing. In a man's world, it produces a magical effect, a time when problems cease, a time for fishing. Fishing itself is the big magic. All fishermen are brothers throughout its mystic realm. They all wear a kind of special look about the eyes when the subject of fishing is raised. They speak a language only understandable by members of the sect. It sounds like bragging to non-members, but it's the accepted communication within the fraternity. A boy transcends the traditional age barrier at fishing time. A man is just another brother fisherman. His only advantage is his boat. If I had $1 million, say most boys, if I only had a boat, say boy fishermen. A boat can take a fisherman into special waters, around the bend, into secret coves. The fishing hero if he only had a boat, says the boy with the conviction of Captain Ahab laying plans for the destruction of Moby Dick.
Say real quick before we get back to the film, I'm Alan Warren. I'm the guy trying to preserve and share these old outdoor TV classics. And I want to ask you something simple. I want to hear from you, as in actually hear from you. If these old shows bring back memories, a person, a place, or just a time in your life that still means something, I hope that you'll call and tell me. There are so many old shows and films that deserve to be remembered, and hearing from you helps keep me encouraged. It does. Would you give me a call? My 24-hour voicemail line is 210-452-7227. Again, that's 210-452-7227. You can call me anytime and tell me what these old shows mean to you. All right, let's get back to today's film.
That's a spinning outfit, isn't it, mister? Among the pleasures of a man's world are those of taking youngsters to the circus and taking a boy fishing. When a man has tomorrow off and encounters a ready-made situation to add to life's memories, it's advisable to act quickly. Tell you what, said the man, if your folks will let you, how about going out with me in the morning? You show me where those big lunkers are around the bend, and I'll show you how a spinning outfit works. And that's how the deal was made. Tippy's chores were never accomplished in less time than on the following morning. Will he come, he thought over and over. By golly, there he was, just as he promised. The man in the boat, that Mr. Ted Henson he'd met the previous evening, had kept his word. Oh, Dad, the moment of moments had arrived. A day of fishing in the bass waters of the far-off end of the lake. And Dad, who knew of Ted Henson, came out to confirm his approval. Then Tippy got his rod, and his hat and jacket. And it was down to the shore, men. Shoulder the gear and away. water's edge, the boat looked great. The day looked great. A wonderful morning with a everything's going my way feeling. Ted and Tippy stashed their gear in the boat. Cast off the moorings. Ted started the motor. And they were off. The water twinkled. The wash widened in an impressive wake. The drone of the motor startled into flight various waterfowl engaged in their morning's fishing. A sizable flock of the none too prevalent white pelicans took wing. And a squadron of ducks cut across the bow. Rounding the bend, the coves were sighted, and the secret cove, the special place. Cutting the motor for a sneak approach, the boat eased in. Ted probed the shoreline with some preliminary exploration. There, and there she blows. Pay dirt. No talking now. We've engaged one of those old lunkers right in his den. Tippy, my lad, your secret place is okay. On that beautiful morning, Ted, using his electric trolling motor to quietly guide his angle of approach, carefully worked Tippy's secret cove, laying his lure hard against the bank, dragging it slowly over sandbars extruding from a jutting shoreline, and making low retrieves from the deeper parts of the lake. Tippy was right. The largemouths were there. Of course, you don't get them all. One of the mysteries of fishing is why one fish will hit and others, you know, are in the same vicinity, will ignore the lure. Have you ever wondered what it's like in the piscatorial world, fishing from a fish's point of view? Watch what happens. Here we are beneath the surface. Beautiful, isn't it? Everything seems orderly. School's in session. But notice the intruder, that wiggling, wobbling, shiny object snaking its way down the jungle path. Ah, a scout spots it. Call the guards. Now watch. and he breaks through, lunges, shakes his head like a bulldog, and dives for the bottom. Let's watch the rest of this battle from a drier seat. Wasn't that beautiful, though? What had Tippy been doing during the morning? Having fun, but seemingly having a little equipment trouble. And more trouble. This kind of agony became more than somewhat distracting to the boat partner. Without a doubt, time had come when the party of the second part, perhaps prodded by the well-known law of survival, take immediate steps to fulfill his part of the deal. An excellent way to begin would be first to say, lay that weapon down, followed by a traditional instructor's introduction. This is a spinning rod, class. Ted explained the basic principles of the spinning wheel, its basket, and demonstrated the cast. Slowly and carefully, Ted Henson, the teacher, outlined the course. Control in spinning is not overly difficult to master, and Ted's comparison of hitting a nail with a hammer is good to keep in mind when starting the course. Raise the arm and bring the rod down as you would an imaginary hammer on the imaginary nail. The first few casts will, in all probability, skyrocket straight up. Others will overshoot the target. The secret of control is in the use of the forefinger on the line. It acts as a drag and a brake. Aim, release like a hammer blow, drag with the forefinger, and brake. Tippy soon caught on. Ted demonstrated, and Tippy practiced. The lesson continued, Ted demonstrating the fine points of pinpoint casting until the reflection of the sun and a weak sensation in their midsections indicated the luncheon hour had arrived. The anchor was dropped. Like a sandwich? The student didn't have to be asked twice. A man with a boy companion find plenty to talk about. A boy's keen eye and his thirst for knowledge of nature spots for wonders everywhere, like the green snake. The turtle. And the birds. hides in the grasses. In the trees. And on high. Meanwhile, back in the boat, the instructor regained the floor and preluded the afternoon session by discussing the advantages of lighter lures used in spin fishing. Lou Eppinger's Daredevil line now includes a functional assortment of light weights, from the 2/5 ounce Daredevil Imp to the 1/5 ounce Skeeter, the baby of ultralights. In areas with surface obstructions and pads, such as this cove, said Ted, this weedless variety is good medicine. It'll weave its way through an obstacle course and climb barriers which would stop non-weedless lures. It leapfrogs weeds and climbs up and over snags. Remember, too, he continued, adding a piece of pork rind to a regular Daredevil will give it weedless qualities. After lunch, Tippy tried the red and white striped feathered weedless Daredevil. Up to the very edge of the shore, he tossed it. I'm caught up good this time, said Tip. Really snagged. But the obstacle climbing Daredevil inched forward until, well, what do you know? The undersurface world looked like this as a monarch of the secret cove plunged through its mirror-like ceiling. And the continuing action on the surface world looked like this. When you stop to reconstruct a day's fishing, a montage of events flash through your memory. These two companions will always, at the flick of a memory switch, recall their companionship. The patience of Ted the teacher, the progress of Tip the student, the whine of the reel, the flash of the lure in the sunlight, and the fury of the occupants of the cove. Excitement. Sport and sportsmanship. If so inclined, a couple of fellas could probably keep up this sort of thing far into the evening. That is, if they'd brought their supper, and if there weren't evening chores to attend to and folks waiting at home. The fisherman's day is always too short. But when the stringer weighs heavy, the decision to leave is less difficult. The return of the hunters is traditional. The folks on shore greet their triumph with praise and listen eagerly to the reports from the world of adventure. Tippy's mom and dad experienced a new sensation. Their boy returned a man with added stature in the sphere of the sportsman. It was equally rewarding to Ted, the satisfaction of having helped initiate a fledgling into the mystic clan. The tenderfoot had done well, and well deserved a badge of his elevated station. Yes, it's yours, said Ted. Being average in any skill is the bottom rung in the ladder of success. It's constant practice in an art that makes an expert. Young Tippy, awed by the magnificent good fortune of the past 24 hours, is but one of countless sportsmen embarking into the lightweight field of fishing. Spinning isn't new, but the trend of light to ultralight has just begun. The lakes and streams of tomorrow will host a new phase of a happy breed, aided by a new array of rods, lines, and lures. And thanks to men such as Ted Henson, who, while enjoying the practice of a relatively new art, take time to demonstrate and teach the fine points of ways to increase the pleasure of Walton's ancient craft.